Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house, and we have got just I think a show full of fundamentals. It's going to be pretty exciting. I said sentiment's been turning, and boy, is it looking good right now. We're going to be talking about all that. Bitcoin, of course, the big news of the day, and on PulseChain, we've got all the pump tires pumping. I did have printer tires, but that was an accident. It's really pump tires that have been rallying today on PulseChain. And we've also got some big news out from Richard Hart. So we're going to talk all about that coming up. You don't want to miss that one. That could be an extremely bullish sign. We've got HexGrader in the house there. Hey, HexGrader, woohoo! Let's go. Hit the likes and share the stream, folks. Definitely share the stream out there. HexGrader, big shout out to the people in the US of A, US of A, USC, USC. Anyway, well, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. We got Gugod in the house there. Good morning, Kings. So if you haven't checked out the Kings, check out the Kings. And yeah, we've got some big stuff coming up for the Kings. So look forward to that. That is coming out, in fact, very, very soon. So a big shout out to the Kings out there. Woo! And of course, we're going to get into it. Don't forget to get into the chat and get lively. The first thing we're going to do, of course, kick out the YouTube video. No, I'm just kidding. Kick out the X, of course, repost it, retweet it, and share it around, right? Share it around. So let's do a refresh. I'm going to post the link in the chat there, and let's go. Let's go. In fact, I can see it's already up and running. We're going to copy that and put it into the chat there. So share the show, share the share the show on X, and there's the link right there. We're having a bit of a fun time this morning, I guess. We got Jedi in the house there. It's a new day. Hey, good to see you, Wookie. Big shout out. And that is the link there. Share it around. If you're on X, just take a moment, go beep, 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 whatever, and get that out. That'd be really, really cool. All right. If you're on Rumbles, don't forget to smash the repost button. You're on YouTube, share, as they say. And of course, let's get into the show. Get into the chat as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We've got nothing but alpha drops all show today. And then later on today, we're going to have even more alpha drops. So it's going to be a fantastic weekend for crypto and PulseChain. In particular, we're going to be spotlighting some very important projects. It's going to be pretty exciting. All right, let's go and let's get into some of this. Now we've got Infinite Me on the house. That is on X, so don't forget to share that around. And let's drop down to the bottom here because we had a couple of polls, if you guys remember, that we had up and running. So we're going to get into that, see how they went. A couple of polls. So the first poll we had was, what is the most bullish thing Richard Hart could do in the short term? And we ended up finalizing that poll. We got launch a wallet was 11.5%, a PulseX DAO or single-sided staking, that's the SSS, 6.6%, live stream 68.9%. That seems to be the clear winner. And then DeFi stablecoin at 13.1%. That had 61 votes in it, and about 500 people had watched it. So that is the results there for the most bullish thing. And I think live stream winning the day. And we're going to talk possibly a bit more about that. The next poll we had was a community fund poll. And this was based on what Richard Hart said, I think, yesterday. And that was what came first, the chicken or the egg? Richard says, I say the egg. Whichever chicken was the first that popped out of the egg first. What say you, says Richard. And, of course, we actually had 69% say the egg. Punch and nukem poops. I think the chicken was first. All right, but that's the result. The people have spoken. That was only 13 votes, though, so we didn't have a big. I thought we were going to get heaps of votes on that, but we didn't get that many. Obviously, people don't find the chicken and egg thing any fun. They've lost their childhood. You got to keep your childhood. You got to have a bit of keep the bit of the child in you. We got the poll. This is our final poll we had. Which is the best Richard Hart coin? PulseX, Incentive, PHEX, or EHEX. Now we only get 4 options in these polls, so we do our best. Now we had the winner is Hex. The winner was Hex, and I'm not surprised. Hex is going to be pretty glorious. So yeah, and we ended up having PulseX, Incentive, and Hex. We had 19 votes. It's not a huge poll, but that's kind of where we are with that poll there. So there were a couple of quick polls up and running on those ones as well. So that's kind of where we are on that. What else we got going? Yeah, I think that was it for the moment. If you haven't joined the socials, definitely smash the socials there. We've got YouTube, Rumble, X, and Discord. The links are in the video description. You can join up, and Telegram. So we're on 5 platforms, for goodness sake. YouTube, Rumble, X, Discord, and Telegram. Join up today. Join up today for those. All right, so let's jump into the news. Before we do that, we've got Brennan in the house there. Big shout out to Brennan, our TA guru in the Discord. Hi, folks. Good to see you, Brennan. Hope you're doing well. All right, so let's get into it and let's jump into the stock market because it was awesome. It was awesome. Now, I looked at the futures last night and it looked positive. The future was definitely positive, but the actual market did really, really well. S&P 500 surges as big tech earnings spur fresh AI optimism to artificial intelligence. And we ended up getting a Dow Jones up 1/5%, 84 points to 40,752. We've got the S&P 500 up 0.63%, 35 points to 5,600. So a nice move for the S&P 500. And the NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it over 1.5% increase on the NASDAQ. So a really great day, 265 points to 17,710. The other interesting thing that happened besides, bullish markets was the dollar actually went back over 100 on the index. So that's the index versus the US dollar versus its trading partners. And it went back over 100. So there we go. A little strengthening of the dollar. We got West Texas at the moment at $59. Can you believe it? Per barrel. Brent oil at $62 per barrel. That's up a little bit. And let's see where we were like 6 months ago on the old West Texas. So West Texas, as I say, was up around about $79, and now we're at 59. So we're down about $20. So President Trump's, already winning, already winning there. That is massive. And that means hopefully if you're in the United States, I know Americans love their driving. What's it, 50 states? It's going to be 52 states soon, is it? With the Greenland and Canada. If not Canada, Alberta. Alberta. Let us know your thoughts on that if you're in America. It looks like possibly the Canada could start falling apart. We got looks like Alberta might very well end up with seeking independence, possibly going into the 51st state of America. We got gold at the moment, $3,247. That's up $25, and silver there up 18 cents to $32.38. So that is where we are on the commodities. Now, the big news, of course, was the big Magnificent Seven on the stock market. That really what drives the big rally with all the technology and stuff like that in it. Meta platform shares jumped more than 4% after quarterly results and guidance topped consensus. The parent company of Facebook and Instagram anticipated full year 2025 capital expenditure in the range of 64 to 72 billion, increase from the prior guidance of 60 to 65. They say, we believe the higher level of investment is justified as the infusion of AI capabilities across the company's ad stack and content recommendation are already driving tangible benefits for Meta's family of apps and reality labs. So that's pretty cool. Now, as you guys know, all we've got to hope is that these giants move away from censorship during the Trump era, and hopefully for good, because they're pretty horrific. Microsoft, their shares surged more than 7% after the software giant's first quarter revenue increased 13%. It also forecast cloud computing revenue of 34%. Microsoft surprised with a much better than expected top-line performance. Then through late April, they had not seen any material demand pressure from the macro tariff issues. So that was a good sign, and the market would have liked that. There are more corporate earnings to digest Thursday, and the highlights being iPhone maker Apple and Amazon, and those are all after the close. So these were Thursday's results. So let's see what happens tomorrow with more of the Magnificent Seven coming to market. The other one we're going to quickly talk about is the initial jobs claims. They jumped 18,000 for the week ending April 26th. And potentially hinted at a little pickup in the layoffs from tariffs, potentially, although we're seeing a lot of that stuff happen in China, right? China is facing a lot of pressure with factories closing down, orders not being made, and so that's quite a calamity, really pushing China to the table, and we're already seeing that unofficially, although officially still trying to stand strong. That's pretty much where we are on the tariffs there, and we're probably going to get some big news from the tariffs out of the United States from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and that is around probably the first deal will probably be India, and if not India, then Japan, but looks like India possibly in the front row there. And remember that India and Japan were the first two countries really to come to the White House to do energy deals, right? Because they're both the net buyers in the world. It was a master move from Trump, and I don't know. I felt like the media just completely missed it. I don't know, just because they're always focused on stupidity. I don't know. I guess they missed the obvious. And so super bullish news here. Yeah, and over 115 countries lined up for deal making. Man, it's going to be a bonanza in the next few months. And he has to have everything in place by the 7th of sorry, 4th of July. Sorry, I keep saying 7th. I think the 7th he's going to do a big a big announcement, about how he's laid the foundation. Excuse me, cough, cough. So yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. So what are the three legs of a strategy? I call it a three-legged stool. They are this, right? Firstly, the tax bill, which they're pushing through now. And of course, that is to deal with the federal budget deficit, right? They've also done the Doge to get the cost downs, and of course, the tax there will eventually get the revenue up, and so economic growth up, maybe 3-4% or more. This would be a game changer, right? And so that's the first leg. The second leg, regulation, deregulations, right? And particularly small to medium banks and businesses in the United States, it's going to be a big deal, and they're going to be laying that out over the months ahead. And of course, the other one is reordering the World Trade Order, and they're doing that, and everyone's lining up. So everything's going pretty well. China's kind of been the main antagonist, but even they are starting to capitulate because it's hitting them pretty hard already with factory closures, export sales, and things like that. So it's a big game changer, And of course, fundamentally, those three strategies in place by the 4th of July, Trump will pretty much have laid the foundation for the golden era of America, as well as, of course, already well over $7 trillion of investment coming into the United States within the first 100 days. So it's game on. And the market's going to harp, the media is going to harp on about silly little things. But meanwhile, Trump's pushing forward the most amazing, golden era we're going to be having. And of course, stock market and crypto are going to be the big winners out of that. It's going to be so exciting. Just get excited. We also know that there's a lot of stuff happening around the digital strategy all the way through to August this year. So we're going to get a lot of benefits. We've got the US states all clamoring to get investment into Bitcoin. I think it's going to be pretty exciting how much demand is going to be pushing here into crypto. So let's get into crypto, and let's get into the big screen here. In fact, let's do some movie magic. There we go. Movie magic. And we got Bitcoin at the moment. We got $96,821 at the moment, up 2.64%. Bitcoin dominance is 62.57%. We know that the bull market, we had it up at around 7% before we got altcoin season. A lot of people at this type of market, they're always losing faith that the altcoin season will come. It's always kind of hilarious but history, they say history rhymes, but not necessarily repeats. Well, even the rhymes can be quite different from each other. So just remember that. We got the Ethereum at the moment, 1843. So this is a good move for Ethereum. We're back over that 1800 mark, but 2000 is the next mark, and really 2100. So we're going to look at that. So we're up 2.66% at the moment. So Ethereum making a nice little move there. XRP up 1%, $2.20. Solana up 2.3% at $151. I'm pretty bullish on Solana, honestly. It's shown some real pushback recently. I know it fell off the cliff a little bit on January, but I really feel it's going to probably do pretty well. ADA, of course, seems to be outperforming a little bit there, up 3.3%. And we've got Litecoin there doing well, up 6.5% at almost $90. And of course, Litecoin benefiting from a lot of the I think stable coins, isn't it? So that's doing pretty well. PulseChain up 0.75%, $3.50, and BNB is pretty flat at 600 there on the old BNB. BNB, you know me, yeah. And we're going to pull out Pi Network actually while we're here. Pi Network, of course, it's at 60 cents. It's down 3.3%. And I don't know, man. Is it real crypto, really? That's a question you got to ask yourself. Now, obviously, there's like 60. Well, there were about 60 million Pioneer miners on it. And of course, it was one of the two phone miners, right? The other one was Electronium. And Electronium, man, I mean, they had a professional CEO, a guy from UK, real with charisma. Guy's got charisma. Just can't remember his name off the top of my head. But that was, 2018, 2019. And just don't know, they just didn't make it, did they? I think they're still sitting at rank like number 1100 or something. And yeah, so I don't know. It's they just did the wrong thing, and they kept doing the wrong thing over and over. And you're like, this guy's so smart, and this team's so smart. Why is it repeating? But hey, a lot of smart people can do a lot of silly things too. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. And Electronium way down. In fact, we might search for it. Let's search for it later on. In fact, let's do it pretty soon. So that is kind of where we are on the overall markets. We're going to check out CoinGecko though, and to see what the total market cap is. and we're sitting at 3.1 trillion. Woohoo! We got a bit of more green there, up 0.2%. We'll take it. And of course, the big mover there, Bitcoin, at 96,328. Looking pretty good there, up 2.6%. Now, we're just going to go through the rankings here. We've got Ethereum at number 2, XRP at number 3, BNB at number 5, Solana at number 6, Dogecoin there at number 8, Cardano at number 9, and Tron at number 10. They rank out our rankings. The best performer over the last 24 hours, pretty much Dogecoin up 4.6%. And of course, Elon Musk has stepped down probably about 3 weeks early from his special employee position, right, doing Doge. And that's because of pretty much all the Democrats, terrorism against Tesla is pretty much it. So we got the top performance in the top for the week. Let's go to the week because apparently the 24 hour doesn't work for me. But Virtual Protocols has been doing extremely well, up 121% in the top 100, and that's ranked number 91 at the moment. So keep a lookout for that. Something to investigate and consider for your portfolio, but definitely up pretty hot at the moment. You definitely want to check the RSI. Probably pretty overheated at this stage, but maybe that's got maybe if it's got real value there, big community, all the rest of it, some big money behind it. It can really rally, but it's up to 121%. So yeah, let's see if it can move higher than 91. Maybe move into the top 50. That'd be pretty interesting. Bonk at the moment up 22%. Monero has come back, come back from the mining dead. No, Monero's out there up 20%, and it's at $273. It's pretty good, right? Pretty good. Let's not be silly. It's at 5 billion market cap, so we can't slim shady that one. We got WorldCoin as well. That's up 17.6%, and Say is sitting at number 5, up 12.7%. So they're the top 100, top 5 in the top 100. And I want to give a little mention to Sonic here. Up 12.5%, and a big shout out to the Andre community. I see you guys. And so you're out there. And Sonic, quite a few developers have been talking to me pretty much about the fact that they're moving on to Sonic. So they're doing some stuff over there. We know that Jacob from Mafia / PUSD / on-chain bet, he's going to be launching on Sonic. So Sonic does seem to be a place where people are going there. Now, it's got good transaction volume. Some of the total volume doesn't seem right, but we're going to have a little check out of the old Sonic chain. Why not? We're in crypto after all. We might talk a bit about that in the future. So that's kind of where we are. We got top gainers. Gamecoin at the moment up 33%. Osaka Protocol 38%, and Axie. What's that? XBit? What is that? XBit by Virtuals. I don't know why I'm coughing, but I just am. We're up 25% on that. Not too bad. And trending, Movement, Virtuals, and Fartcoin there are trending at the moment for some reason on the list there. So there we go. Let's jump into Bitcoin now and get into the circle of volatility. And I can see that at the moment, this chart is looking pretty awesome. We've got the circle of volatility, and I think it's virtually over. I mean, we're going to have obviously natural volatility in the markets, but I think we're just about done with this. The circle, we're about to break of the boundary, the boundary of forgetfulness. So I'm going to get rid of that. Bam, it's gone. And there we go. We're all the way for, remember the 5th of April, we had the 10% tariffs. That's what all the drama started. We got all that drama. We are up pretty well from there. We got down to about 74,400. We're now up 30%. Woohoo! Inside of 24 days, we'll take that. And we're now up $22,500 US on Bitcoin, sitting pretty high. In fact, we just closed out the high there. We got up to 97,500, and we're now just under 97,000 at the moment on Coinbase. So we're doing pretty well. We also averted a death cross for another time. The previous time we did that was September. Looks like the market makers are pretty about that. And away we go. And so we've still got this golden cross up for the next parabolic, right? The next parabolic. And of course, if we got all the way back here on the 20th of January, we got up to $109,358 for Bitcoin. The next mark for the parabolic is going to be somewhere, in the 150 mark. So bring that on onwards and upwards to the next, 150 mark, and away. Now, I'm still expecting 150 to 250 this year for Bitcoin, but there's no reason why we couldn't even do 400K this year. It's definitely possible. Because there is a relative scarcity to the amount of capital that potentially is going to come into the market. Basically, all the players you can think of are pretty much sitting on the bench, and they can get up and play anytime they like. And we're expecting a bit of an avalanche, of a bit of a craze for people to jump on the field. And so, yeah, we're going to have the US states jumping in. We're going to have the United States jumping in. We're going to have sovereign states around the world jumping in. We're going to have all the institutions jumping in, sovereign funds jumping in, the big money like Saudi money, all that sort of stuff, and jumping in to crypto. So really, we could see some pretty crazy stuff. Now, if we also get to gold, about a 10x to gold market cap, we're talking about 900,000 to $1 million Bitcoin. Pretty exciting. And we also know Michael Saylor is pretty much, leveraging himself up there or trading himself up to buy even more Bitcoin. The other thing is we saw the Trump foundations also trying to set up a Michael Saylor sort of MSDR fund as well. So it's just game on, guys. It's just game on. Trump, we've got the perfect president to lay out a proper economic framework. And of course, that three-legged strategy plays out. It's just game on. We are in the best period we could possibly be, probably in history. Honestly, we're probably in the best period for history that we're coming up over the next 4 years under Trump. It's going to be pretty spectacular. Now, the only wild card are geopolitical risks, right? And the biggest risk would be, some nuclear event by a terrorist nation or invasion of Taiwan. That's kind of the only heavy hitters I can think of right now that could, upset things a bit. So a lot actually, but that's kind of we assume that doesn't happen. Then, man, it's the golden age of America and the golden age for crypto and stocks. So pretty awesome. Now, Ethereum, of course, has been kind of the weaker. Ethereum has been a weaker friend there. Keep getting the CMCs up. But we still played this death cross out. So we had the death cross on the 30th of February for Ethereum, and we are currently sitting below the 50-day at the moment. We're right below it. So we're at a very bullish point here for Ethereum, and hopefully we'll start turning back up for a golden cross. So I think, the future's looking pretty bright. And of course, as you guys know, this strategy runs out through to the 4th of July, and we get a lot of these trade deals, probably the top 15 countries, in particular India, Japan, South Korea, and countries like that sort of rolling out. Europe, of course. Then it's just game on. Just one good news after another. Bam, 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 bam. So it's pump, 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 pumpity pump, all the way up to Valhalla or something like that. So here we are at 1845. We're about to cross over. The 50-day at the moment is 1858. So we're pretty much on that at the moment, about $20 below it. We bust through that, and it's going to be quite a nice move higher, and that's going to close that gap up between the 50-day and the 200-day. 200-day at the moment is at $2,463. So it's game on there. And as you can see in the horizontal, if we go to the horizontal here, we really wanted to get over this mark here, which is 2100. So that's kind of the first one. Obviously, 2000's got that natural level, and then getting over 2100 to start printing higher highs here and onwards and upwards. And of course, that will close out that death cross that we've been in here. So that would be pretty cool. Let's see what other drawing tools we got. We got drawing. Let's get an eclipse here. I don't know if the eclipse works on that. Let's see if it does. Perfect. Yeah. So this little death cross area here, off we go. Oh man, it's like drawing times with Superman on the Kryptonite show. But anyway, there we are. That is pretty much it. All right, so it's game on. We're looking actually pretty good. So we bust through another $20 from here. It's particularly game on, and we might get resistance at 2100. And let's see how we go from there. Now I haven't got the RSI on here, but that is kind of the print. All right, so we're going to get into PulseChain. And before we do that, let's catch up in the chat and see who else has jumped in here. We've got quite a few people watching at the moment, so definitely smash the repost and share around. Hit the like button on the way in. Who else has jumped in here? We've got what came first, the Ewoks or the Wookiees? I don't know. I feel like the Ewoks, honestly. I feel like the Ewoks. We got Darth Vader, says Brennan. Yeah, probably Darth Vader there. Well, Darth Vader, I was going to say something about Ben. We got Fat Sammy in the house there. Hey, Fat Sammy, where am I? I voted Biden and shorted crypto from a guy called Toxic. Charts are so bullish right now. Long ETH, says Fat Sammy. That's pretty funny. Now, hey, look, Fat Sammy's out there. He's kind of one of the founding leaders of, the current leaders of Pulse Bitcoin and the whole entire ecosystem there. And he's also doing a lot of cool videos from a live feed out in the real world. So a big shout there, Fat Sammy. Go check him out. And he's doing some good stuff there, giving him his views on PulseChain and the crypto markets. We went long on ETH and AVAX and Sol last week. Nice one, Fat Sammy. Nice move. We'll work this profits into PulseChain. That's a nice move there. Very, very cool. All right. What else there? We've got We've got a couple other comments here. Fat Sammy says Sonic has good cross pollination with Pulse. We should. What says Fat Sammy? Brennan says it's nice. Has a nice uptrend at the moment to stay above 95k is ideal. Says Brennan. Very good insights there. And Mega Pump incoming says Sammy. I have never been so bullish. Yeah, 100%. Feeling very bullish about crypto. Eat the 4k in 5 weeks. Yep, very possible that we'll send Pulse to the moon. Absolutely. So these moves happen quite fast. So I think it's a really good observation from Fat Sammy. And so we already saw, Bitcoin recover within 24 days by $22,500. See what I mean? So this thing can move real quick. Goes down real quick, and everyone's like, depressed or upset, depending on if you're buying or selling. But on the way up, it happens pretty quick too. And we always know that, it's probably 20 to 30 days of the year that we have the biggest movements in crypto up and down. That's another big trend or tendency that we see in the markets. Cough caused by eggshells or chicken feathers. That's a really good observation. Hopefully it's neither. Hopefully it's neither. I'd be very in big trouble there. It's probably toast. Probably the toast I had. It's probably a little bit of toast debris. Who knows? Anyway, well, let's move on because it's not very show friendly. How's Zen going? Well, Zen is waiting for X1, so we just don't know. We just don't know. It's always 2 more weeks, which is old school. But I think the market's moved on from 2 weeks. I myself cannot stand 2 weeks anymore. Yeah, we just want launches and excitement. That's it. Frank White in the house there. Hey. Good to see you, White. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. All right. On Zen, actually, at the moment, man, it's a buyer's market, just accumulating at the bottom. It's definitely a big opportunity there. You just got to have patience, but we just don't know when Jack Levin is going to be launching X1, although I'm very bullish about it. It's going to be the first full fork of Solana with all the bells and whistles, and I'm very excited where that's going to head. Now let's get into the markets here. We've got Bretep. You guys know Bretep. Bretep is one of Richard Hart's devs. Pretty much, I think he's the lead dev. Pretty much, and he goes, as a pro tip, if you want to protect people from using scams, don't mention the name of scam. Instead, simply point them to the legitimate platform PulseChain.com. So that was from Bretep earlier today. In fact, this post is about an hour old, if I remember rightly. Yeah, an hour old. So hot off the press there. And so I went to PulseChain.com and look what's happened. Richard Hart and his magic team have been magicking, and it's very different now. So we've got the Pulse price in there, or Pulse gas. We've got the Pulse price there. We've also got the PulseX price there, the Ink price, and the Hex price there. So what is Richard giving us a sign? I think it's a sign, guys. This is a bullish sign, right? Ready to get started. Bridge, swap, launch, mine, add your wallet. So some cool features here. What is PulseChain? It's got details about that. Helpful community tools. It's got a PulseChain dashboard. It's got the Hex Scout, right? So we've got a dashboard. I think we talked about that yesterday, didn't we? The dashboard. We've got Hex Scout, of course, a great team for around Hex. You can manage Hex-related stuff. And they've got Gibbs Finance as well, multi-chain bridge and on-ramp for PulseChain. So it's giving Gibbs a bit of the nod there. So that's pretty bullish. But then we've got the stats, right? So we've got all these prices, all-time low. We've got 1 year, 6 months, 3 minutes, 3 months, I think it is 3 minutes. That's funny. 30 days. So it's got all the different time horizons you could want. It's also got dollars and Pulse. So you can see it in the dollars of Pulse. And you can actually change, get rid of the charts there as well and just have the prices. There we go. Now, it's also got the stats page. And what's the stat page? I mean, come on. Is this going to tell us something? Let's have a look. So we've got PulseChain transaction prices at the moment. So much cheaper than Ethereum, of course. Says here 20 times cheaper than Ethereum at the moment. It gives you what a pulse sending pulses, a token send, or it says a approval and a swap is how much those are. But what I think is the most interesting thing on this chart, let me know. This is a test. This is a test. Which one is the most interesting chart here on this one? We got total transactions up and to the right, so they're looking pretty awesome. So this here is telling us 55 million. Now I'm presuming the data is sourced correctly, so there is a couple other sites around. I guess you could cross check. We got liquidity at the moment. So this is actually different from. This has got liquidity pool, so presumably that's accurate. It kind of feels about right. And then of course we've got daily volume. The daily volumes going on in the chain. So we've got daily volumes and liquidity and transactions. But look at what this chart. What's the one that we're looking at here? The last one I left there, and that is the X's from the chart low. X's from the chart low here. Are we getting told something here? We're going to sell something here. So, we're about to ready to rumble on PulseChain. And these X chart here is going to show us how glorious it will be, just like it was back when Hex rallied, those 13 parabolics. Let's see where we are at the moment. I think this time of the year, was it 5 years ago? Hex had rallied like 7x or something, seven times or something. I can't remember the number, but it was pretty big at this time of the year. But here we are rallying. This is the X rally, so we're going to keep a lookout on this chart and watch this thing go up and to the right, basically. So that was pretty cool. So that is that Richard Hart telling us something? You can decide, but pretty much nevertheless, we're going to update in the PulseChain.com. We've got all the PulseChain prices. Things are about to get real. Let's be frank. Things are about to get real. We've got the market pumping, looking for the upside. We've got PulseChain looking good. Thinner liquidity, lower inflation, pump tires, and all the rest is getting ready. We've got new data sites from Richard Hart talking about forks, new data. It's looking pretty exciting. Now we got Richard actually posting out a lot as well. So this is getting very bullish. He says, pro tip, having something scan your eyeball to make a unique public-private key pair for you does nothing useful for AI. As soon as the stupid eyeball havers have their private key, they sell it, lose it, give it away with a checkbox for a flashlight app, or have a database linked like everything else. They have their name, addresses, etc. If authenticating someone as human is what you want, some key generated long ago of biometrics is useless. Stop falling for stupid ideas. And then it's got why don't you just understand the things I say? Authentication is the problem all servers face, which is why you have to log in so many different things. Logging in is called authenticating, but what are you really authenticating? Well, just that you have something, like a password, or something you are biometrics, or something you have a key. Well, in the quest for finding a problem to sell a solution for, someone said, well, let's see if we can sell proof of human. I always love when Richard comes out with things like proof of human, but with a coin, and we'll pretend that an eyeball scan does a long time ago is somehow as useful as an eyeball scan done right now to authenticate people, and then we can convince stupid people to buy our coin. So this post is explaining how stupid that idea is, but because of the scam diode, where I explain as to you why and how something is stupid, but don't give new people enough information to be exposed to the scam sales pitch. It might seem vague to you, but it's supposed to be vague in the single direction for you, because with some portion of you is so stupid that you will fall for basically any stupid idea at all. So I'm here educating, protecting you all at the same time. Go me. You're welcome. Posts like this, how you help stop scam ideas without mentioning them. I embedded the scam diode. Since some of you all probably don't know what a diode does, it lets electricity go one way, not the other. So that there is from Richard Hart today, and of course that leads us into a few other posts that he's having here. So let's get into those. That was 11 hours ago. 10 hours ago, Richard Hart said, Richard Hart teaches you things about cryptocurrency prices no one else. Token launched with liquidity tied to the native layer 1 token are better for price than tied to stable, because you have to buy the layer 1 to buy the new token. I guess Pulse, right? I've already taught you here. Here's a new teaching. Who is more likely to hold the native token instead of selling? The person that parted with the coin for a new coin, or the new coin's founder? Well, historically, it seems that project founders dump like hell. There's notable exceptions to this, like some old ICOs of your hold lots of ETH, for instance. And if you think really hard, you can probably come up with some other wallets holding absolutely tons of ETH instead of dumping it. This, guessing which founders will hold harder than people they took coins from, is a fun game. I can think of extremely few who have. So that was pretty cool. We got Moon King in here talking about Maria, for example. Maria doesn't do this. He dumps his tokens to the community. So there we go. That's why Teddy launched on PUMPTIRE is just better. Now we're going to be talking about PUMPTIRE coming up in a minute. We also got Patias here responding. Richard, we have nothing but respect for you, and as you've seen, we've achieved a lot for the ecosystem over the past 1.5 years, but your endorsement of GoPulse has had some harsh consequences, he says, and so that is a comment there. Now we got GoPulse in the house there. We must provide Go liquidity for instead of against stablecoins, maybe both. Now, obviously, there's quite a bit of pushback against GoPulse. And so you're going to have to do due diligence if you get in there. I know that Hex Scout did a big post about GoPulse and their current capital raise for Go. So, you guys need to decide. It's not something I'm really going to sit, get involved with, but there is a bit of drama going on there. Now, the other one, of course, is a post that we had 8 hours ago. Random tips sheets made of t-shirt material. So we've got some interesting comments here from Richard around this. I really love the fact that he's getting out and talking about a lot of different things. So that's from Richard there. And of course, this was the big one that we just covered. PulseChain.com has been upgraded. And so we've covered that just before and had some interesting, we love the X's chart, right? This kind of the X's chart, getting people excited. Hex Scout says, huge thanks to Richard and the PulseChain team. It's an important step forward. Kind of cool. And what they say about this, thank you for cleaning up the link structure. It's a big motivation for us to keep pushing forward with PulseChain. So kind of cool. That is neat. So that is from Hex Scout and Richard on the old PulseChain.com upgrade. We also had some more here about PulseX. I really like the PulseX buy and burn function. And of course, because you never have to worry about burn coins being sold, and because they're burnt. And of course, we're going to look at those numbers in a second. And go forever. PulseX can never inflate, only burn. Millions of dollars of PulseX have been burned so far. Verify, not trust, you say. Smart. And of course, he's got all the burns there on my pinata there in the IPFS, so you can check all that out. All right, so that's kind of cool. What else do we have here? 5 hours ago from Richard. What's a burn address? It's an address that no one has the keys to, so no one can spend its balance. You can usually tell a burn address by the very large number of preceding zeros for the last digits. There we go. Now, the one thing I was going to say about this is that I think there's at least 3 ways that I'm aware of that developers can burn coins. And so one of them, in fact, deals with the total supply, right? Reduce the total supply, whereas others send it to like a burn address with the zeros. And so just there's a couple of variations there. An hour ago, what's up with the coast.com? Should people be sent there or to on-ramp or what? So he's asking a question about Coast. Now, obviously, Coast has been very, very good. So presumably we're going to get a lot of positive feedback there. In fact, let's see if the Coast team actually responded to that. We've got Stoic, from the Coast team. That is Trustpilot review, and that is pretty bullish there. Yeah, and of course, the internet money coming there. Coast is great for PulseChain. Absolutely. Yep. Everyone's pretty much supporting the old Coast. And of course, it is our main fiat on-ramp. And we're going to be talking about the next on the PulseChain in just a second. So what other stuff? And this is pretty bullish. So Richard really getting out there. We've got the pulse.com. He's talking about forking a wallet. He's talking about, Coast on-ramps. He says, what other stuff, links, what might look good on a site? What other pictures, Lambo pictures, open source, sourced or licensed? I wish some sites had a call center and sales AI support. You name it, one can dream. Now, the only site that I'm aware of that's had that really in a PulseChain has been the Coast on-ramping for fiat, right, for the CST stable. So, that is pretty exciting. We've got a couple other suggestions here from Pulse Coin List around Pulse Swap there, Pulse Coin List as well. Some tutorials, Marco's suggesting. Bubbles display suggesting, so people talking about some more information there. This is exciting. The leader is leading and talking about lots of different stuff in PulseChain. Like I said, very bullish signs here happening in PulseChain, and we are starting to get ready. Now, talking about bullish things, Sun Mini Meal, of course, bring on ramp onto PulseChain. They had a minor delay on the 30th, and they said, we are currently facing a minor technical issue that is delaying the launch of Banksa. Rest assured, we are working hard to resolve it, and we'll provide PulseChain with its first competitive fiat on-ramp very soon. And this is going to be an alternative potentially to the official bridge and Coast, right, which is a direct on-ramp to PulseChain. And so it's going to be maybe up to 5 minutes to get onboarded. Amazing. This is huge for a PulseChain. The current estimate launch time is 1 to 2 days. That's basically today. So hopefully we'll get an update within the next 24 hours on this one from Sun Mini Meal. Massive, massive, massive opportunity and big utility onboarding for PulseChain within 5 minutes. A game changer, right? So, it's going to onboard a lot of non-crypto people, right? So that's very, very exciting, and potentially a ton of new capital to PulseChain. Now, that is kind of the mark there. Let's get into the results here, and we're going to talk about that. So we've got, at the moment, PulseChain, 721 days since PulseChain launched on 13th of May, 2023. And, of course, PulseChain, a full system state fork of Ethereum on the 10th of May, 2023. And here we are with some green candles, thank goodness. We're at quadruple 0304, up 5.5%. We're sitting at 30% of the mean sacrifice price. So, it's you're still in a beautiful zone to pick up Pulse right now. You already see bullish signs coming out from Richard Hart. You're seeing new protocols, new information sites things are really starting to ramp up on PulseChain. You're seeing a sentiment change, I think, on PulseChain. So it's time to get on board. And of course, crypto really looks like it's starting to pick up pace in the US economy. Trump's strategy is really kicking into gear. So yeah, catch me while you can, kind of thing. We got PulseX at the moment, quadruple 0245 up 6%, and the buy and burn that Richard was talking about has hit 1,395 billion. PulseX has been bought up and burned. 7.06% of PulseX is gone forever, as Richard would say. Incentive token, $1.28 is up 6%, and the total supply is about 55 million. And this is another key thing that Richard Hart's team's done, and that is the inflation has been cut by 20x. It is now at about 5% of what it used to be, which is about 0.03 ink per day, ink per second, about 2,600 ink per day. So this is very scarce now on the old. And the other question is, will the Master Chef be triggered, and the DAO be handed over to the community? Is the tokens distributed enough for the PulseX incentive? So that's going to be interesting coming up this year. I suspect we may see that. So let's see. Hex at the moment is 61/100th of a penny. EHEX is at 22/100th of a penny, and the combined price EX and PX is up today at 83/100th of a penny. So we're heading back towards 1 cent, up 5%. And this can run away very, very quickly. As you saw in that small poll that I talked about, people voted for Hex there as the biggest mover at the poll, although it was a pretty small sample, but nevertheless, that was the result. Gas prices, 2.3 million beats. So we've had quite low gas prices the last couple of days. It's been quite nice after getting some pretty incredible gas prices in the previous weeks. I think we got what? Do we get to a trillion beats or something? A billion beats. Oh, I think it was a billion beats actually. Do we get a billion beats? I think we did. I've definitely seen 300-400 million beats. But I think was it a billion beats we saw? Let me know in the chat. We got valos at the moment have been climbing. We're at 45,877. So that looks like a big move, a jump there. I think 48. We're actually down. Did we actually jump down? I'm not sure. Someone with the big validator set. It seems to be we're down 3,000 validators. So I'm not sure what's happening here. Maybe it just went offline. I don't know. We'll see. Keep a look out for that. Bridge. Let's have a look at the bridge at the moment, 85.4 million. So we're based on GoPulse numbers, we are up, we're up basically $1 million from yesterday. I think we're at 84.4. So it looks like $1 million increase there. All right, that brings us to PulseChain, and of course the title of the video, which I had to check, accidentally had printer tires, but actually it pump tires is what I actually had. So I had to do some run around and change all the titles and the thumbnail as well. So yeah, PulseChain pump tires have rallied, right? So big time there on the back, probably of Richard Hart, and of course the positive environment we're in with stocks and crypto. And we've seen a big rally in the old pump tires. So most of them, as you can see, if you look at the age column here, we can see most of them are below, around 2 months, which are all the pump tire ones. We've got about $13.6 million in volume, very low volume on PulseChain. We've been, I think recently the lowest was around 18 million. Today we're at 13.5. This is very low volume on PulseChain, but we've still got quite a few green candles, and most of them are in the pump tire category, right? So we've got 323,000 transactions per last 24 hours. That's pretty normal. But the big movers are, we've got puppers. It's been around for about 2 months. These all pretty much look like pump tires, and so that's up 150%. We've got PMX is up 46%, 48%, I should say. USD Tether, pump tires version, up 39%. PDI, the pump tires version, there is up. Should I call it pump die? It's probably a better way. Pump die, up 26%. We got Pepe here. This has done pretty well as well. I saw someone post this in the Telegram group for the Kryptonite Show. If you haven't joined the Kryptonite Show Telegram, links in the video description. But they posted that 23%. RSI here as well, 22%. So these pretty much all pump tires except for PDC. This has been around for about, a year and 9 months, something like that. And this is kind of the original DAO token on PulseChain, and that is a Troper. So we're up at 9% on that. Best everything, up 18% here. So we're back into the pump tires, and Teddy Bear, they're up 17% as well. Teddy Bear, they're of course backed by Moon King. We saw Moon King responding to Richard Hart and some of those posts. That is up. He's pretty much the biggest influencer in our ecosystem on X, and he's got about 110,000 followers. Now, the size of the influence and the engagement are two different things, but he's obviously one of our mega influencers out there. Now, we've got a trope at the moment from good old James Maria. James Maria, I should make a song about him. 16% there. And we've got Solana, there as well, up 16%. Another PUMPTIRE. So PUMPTIRE's absolutely dominating today on PulseChain. And we've got a Tropa there up 15%. So we've got a few exceptions like a Tropa and like PDC. But apart from that, pretty much all PUMPTIREs are dominating the green candles today. That comes down to Teddy Bear. Teddy Bear, of course, another James Maria. So Tropa Teddy Bear, James Maria there. It's up 13%. Then we got this is not a PUMPTIRE. We've got there's a new pairing that's been set up, so I won't talk about that. It's Love Token though, paired with XUSD. We've got XGame, another PUMPTIRE. Of course, this is one we're backing big time, right? PUMPTIRE here. XGame is coming. And of course, we're waiting for the gambling license. It's currently working on testnet. If you're on testnet, you have to have used PulseChain testnet v4, right, which is the last testnet, and you can actually play that. Man, is so good. In fact, do I have any of the videos at the moment on this? Let me have a look if I've got any of the videos for PUMPTIREs. Let's scroll up here. I might have to add it in and see if I've got any of these videos because it looks so good. Sometimes I delete them, right? So I may not have it. Let's see here. I don't seem to have the gameplay itself on. I'd have to import it, which means I'm going through another step or so. But let's put this little video in, hey? This little video here. A bit of movie magic. But this is their little first promo that had of the old XGame. And this one happens to be over water of this little spaceship. And not too bad. So that is kind of cool. But the gameplay, I'm going to be covering more of that anyway. So, that's coming up. So pretty excited. XGame, of course, is going to be a crash game. But the XGame, the whole is going to be a big, giant, decentralized casino. So we're going to have the on-chain one from Jacob, which we covered the other day. And then we're going to have, obviously, the XGame from Firewhale, one of the big whales on PulseChain, and, of course, along with Randy Lasky and others as well. So very bullish about that. So that is definitely in the mix here. And the price is looking pretty friendly, right? So the price is looking pretty friendly. Let's have a quick look at that. So this really looks like it's just slowly creeping back up here. Like I say, we could get that casino license and the game will go live. Remember, this has a big referral program to it. And is going to have a lot of advertising, as I understand it, with an advertising budget as well. We're also expecting just a ton of influencers and go multi-chain, right? So this is going to be huge. In fact, I think XGame is going to be 30% of pretty much some of the profits from the game are going to be burning Solid X, which is the parent token, right? So 3 PUMPTIREs in the ecosystem, Solid X, XGame, and Firewhale. Those are 3 PUMPTIREs. And then there's the OG Solid X token, right? And the OG Solid X token is the one that's going to be burned away. And if you've got this game playing on multiple chains and it goes viral because of all the referrals and all the influencers, everyone in the community pumping it, then it's going to be burning that one. It's going to be omni-chain basically and burning that one token. So it's going to be pretty massive, and this could be really runaway there. So it's probably the tip of the day today. If you're after a tip of one to look at, probably that one. We got Emerald is at the moment up 10.6%. So it's part of this. Was it Mona Lisa ecosystem? That's up 10% today. We got Trump PUMPTIREs. That's up as well. I think that's kind of a no-brainer, the Trump one, because of the Trump era, the Trump era and the golden age. This one will probably do pretty well. So probably something you could consider having in your portfolio. We've got the old PUMPTIRE Bitcoin as well. Man, PUMPTIRE is just dominating today. Absolute domination. Apart from maybe James Marie and a few others, they are pretty much dominating. We've got Secret Conspiracy, have been around for 19 days, up 9.6%. Dow Token, up 9%, been around for 2 months. Of course, all look PUMPTIRE ones. We do have one here, Pulse Puppy. It's been around for over a year. That's up 9%. UFO is up there as too. So obviously PDC UFO, one of the better, I would say, blue chip opportunities on PulseChain. That's up 8.6%. Time dividend from good old KG and the Internet Money Wallet at what absolute stellar success, really. 73,000 downloads. The only threat to this really, and I don't know if it's a threat, but competing for sure, is a Richard Hart wallet, if Richard Hart ever came out for a wallet. So we'll see what happens in that space. But meanwhile, over 73,000 downloads, incredible multi-chain wallet. You hold time dividend, you get share of the profits from the swapping. It's basically Uniswap done right? And you got to remember, Richard Hart and the Hex community made Uniswap popular back in the early days. And so, yeah, and then they turned on us. They turned on those dirty rats. That's what happens. There's all these fake DeFi cryptos out there. They're all fake. When they're tested, you find out who the real ones are, right? Who the real ones are. We got Dow token up 8.4%. So as you can see, I mean, PUMPTIREs have absolutely dominated today, and on low volume though. So note that on low value, but dominating with the gains today pretty much. So not too bad. We have got a few other honorable mentions. Incognito, PDC, of course, with the UFO up today. And obviously PulseX, we talked about that. What else is moving along here? SolidX, of course. This is the OG version, right? This is the yellow one, is the one that you're after if you want to get the burn effect from the game when XGame launches and all the rest of the casino games. And of course, this is the one here. Now it's $8.69 at the moment. So it's just coming off the bottom there. It was down at $8. Very pretty strong looking profile for this token, and we're only expecting a bit of a run from here. Who knows how high it could go into. It's $8.60 now. It could end up being $50, $100, $200, right? So remember, it's going to have the burn and the demand on it, so it could be absolutely credible. Backed by Firewell as well. Now that's pretty much it. What else we got on those ones? Yeah, well, obviously Hex and Incentive token in the mix there. And then we come down to about 5% gains. We've got 9-inch exchange. So a big shout out to Hexy Bastard out there. And he's up 5.7%. What else there? We got Most Wanted at the moment, up 5.5%. ALGO there on the back of Hex, up 5%. Ring, the one meme, another the PUMPTIREs, I think that is. Yeah, up 5%. And then we got some of these Mona Lisa ecosystems, the Stellar as well. So Stellar matching up with this other one up here. What was that one? Where were we? Up here. Is it this far up? Emerald. Yeah, Emerald up here, which is up almost 10%. So that's kind of cool. And mnemonics, we've got a few. Now we're getting into a few of the printers. So we've got mnemonics at number 56. That's up 6%. Where else are the rest of the printers? Where the printers gone? We've got Mona Lisa itself. Mooney there, Mona Lisa. That's up 5% there. It's another one of these ecosystem. Is this like an Atropa ecosystem? And of course, tied in with Teddy as well. Teddy Takeover. Not Teddy OG, not the James Maria one. But yeah, and we got this one here, Top Hat, been around for a month. What else there? Liquid Loans is up 4.4%. Now, what you're probably going to see on PulseChain is when PulseChain really does start to run, you'll probably see these DeFis that really haven't had as much attention start to run, right? So the DEXs and the big DeFi liquidity forks will all probably have their moments in the sun and start running. But at the moment, you know, they're not the craze. At the moment, printer tokens, well, obviously not today, but printer tokens have been the last couple of months. PUMPTIREs obviously have been very popular last 2 or 3 months. And so you sort of see with the dominance. And then we've seen some of the I guess, the better blue chips like the PGC, the Greys, like the SolidX ecosystem, things like that doing pretty well also. And then we've had a number of specialty projects, you know, so we're going to talk about some of them too. So yeah, not bad. So there, at the bottom here, we do have a couple of the printer tokens in the top 100. We've got Dominance and Beast at the moment sitting there. And we've got this Egg. Remember Egg launched? Egg launched, and Richard talks about something, and someone launches PUMPTIREs. In fact, PUMPTIREs was absolutely full of Egg tokens apparently yesterday. But this is the one that made the market, and it's down 12% at the moment. But that was pumping pretty hard yesterday. The rest of them, of course, we've got Missor. We've also got the Zero. This is another one of, and Frank here. So Zero and Frank, both another ones of these Mona Lisa ecosystems. Will it be like a Atropa? They're pretty spread out at the moment, but we'll see whether they can, you know, rally big time, just like a Atropa ecosystem did, and whether it can reproduce that. At the moment, top performer is Puppies, or Puppers, is it? Puppers, and that's been around for 2 months. All right, so that's sort of our leaders at the moment in the market. Let's see who else has jumped in the chat. How we're doing for time? We're at 54 minutes. We're doing pretty well. We might take a little deep dive into some of those charts, to be honest. And I think this is probably the saying of the day. I've never been so bullish. That's so true. You got to be pretty bullish where we're heading. Let's jump into some of these. We've got Matty C in the house there. Yo, yo, yo. T-Shares in the house as well. Yo. And we got Mitchie in the house there. Hey, Mitchie, big shout out. Mitchie has been climbing steadily in anticipation of PulseChain reversal. Big shout out to the Mitchie community there. And we got Trent there. How you doing, Trent? Hey, everybody. Craig Pitt as well. OG in the house. Morning all. And we got Crypto Utah doing some amazing things over in the next community and coming to PulseChain, right? Yo, Suitman and crew, the sentiment shift feels good. It does. I don't have any sound effects for that, but maybe a magical twinkle. Maybe that could be it. Yeah, and we'll do. Yeah. Maybe a doorbell. I don't know. Let's add the doorbell in. Come in, bring in the pizza. I don't know. And the crowd goes wild. Thank you very much. Time to rug pull Superman off the channel when he gets crazy like this. All right, so that is kind of where we are at the moment, and yeah, the market's doing pretty well. But I want to deep dive into a few of these little charts, so we're going to do that. Did I already look at Teddy? I think I did. We're going to have a quick look at Teddy though. I think we looked at XGame, but let's have a look at Teddy because I think Teddy is on the move. Teddy is on the move, and if people like to catch the ones on the move, I actually think this. I know there's there's the OG Teddy, and of course that's a huge community. It's got a whole ton of influencers supporting that as well, as far as I'm aware. I've definitely seen them out on X supporting OG Teddy with James Maria, and of course the anticipation that James Maria is going to do a lot around Tropa, and of course the stable parodies around PUMPTIRE, USDC, USD Tether. And of course, the involvement there with the XDC, XUSD team to some degree, like Katie. So there's all that sort of whole narrative there. You parody those, you slowly move them up over time in value, particularly on a PulseChain reversal. So there's that whole narrative. And then, of course, XUSD's got its own specialized incentive program to trade and push the value up over time. And of course, we know Rack and Rochelle, the biggest whale in the ecosystem, is involved with the XUSD holding #1 positions for those tokens, and including Vibe, right? The Vibe token as well. So there's all that sort of ecosystem out there. And then we've got, Moon King moving away from the PDI and from Tropa. I don't know if he's completely out. You never know, right? But he's moved into this Teddy takeover, right? And this Teddy takeover possibly having a related dev to the Mona Lisa ecosystem with all those tokens, almost mimicking in some degree of the Tropa ecosystem, if I'm understanding it correctly. And so we've got this starting to move up here. Now, obviously, with a big influencer like that, you've got a lot of free press, as it were, to push this, and a lot of well-to-do friends, let's say. And so this is looking kind of nice on the old Teddy takeover, and currently at 74/100th of a penny. And this, if it does anything like the original OG James Maria Teddy, this could really start to run quite big. Now, that being said, it's PUMPTIREs, right? And also there is quite a few large holders, if I remember rightly. So yeah, I think that's the case. So definitely check that out. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check on that because I look at so many tokens. Sometimes I can make a little mistake here and there. It's double check because I hate giving bad information. But we're going to check that out. And yeah, so 1 billion tokens. Let's look at the holders, and we can see some of the holders here, quite large holders. So you got 5%, 3%. There's a number of people over 1%. So whales generally considered like a whale status, depending on the protocol. Some people have their own different sort of categories, but we've got quite a few wallets here over 1%. In fact, we've got all these wallets down here. So 11 million tokens at 1.1% there. And there's probably 30, 40 wallets above that level. So that's kind of where we are on Teddy. And but look, a lot of them are probably looking to hold for those big gains, and selling now. It's not really the big gains, apart unless they got them back here, which many of them would have. But they're probably looking for this to run right, backing on the old Moon King there. So we also saw people tying into Teddy, like the Mona Lisa ecosystem, those tokens tying into Teddy as well. So yeah, let's see where that heads. Another one, of course, we're looking at here, obviously PDC, the Greys, we've been talking about that. Here's OG Teddy, right? So OG Teddy still pretty big, linked in with the Atropa and the Treasury Bill. And of course, we see Treasury Bill linked in with USD Tether, right? And of course, Atropa linked in with the PDI. And I'm not sure what they're going to do with USDC, but that's kind of where we are at the moment, as I understand it. And of course, then we've got the majors there. So we're going to quickly look at the OG Teddy as well. We looked at Teddy takeover. So there we go. This is the OG Teddy. This is on the weekly time frame because it's been around for a long time, right? In fact, it's been around for 1 year and 8 months and 15 days. And this has performed like a boss, right? Really, really good performance. And obviously, if you push it versus Pulse, so you should compare all these to Pulse, right, to get that full-on comparison. But obviously, it's way down from the highs, right? So, it was way up here at 0.0017. Now at 0.0017, right? So a long way down from that. But that means potentially big opportunity. But there is a competing narrative between these two to some degree because similar brand. So we'll see how that goes. The other one, of course, I want to talk about PUMPTIRE, kind of the main PUMPTIRE one. So we'll have a look at the chart here. Looking pretty solid. I know this looks like it's got such a solid foundation. it really could start running away, right? So we see PUMPTIREs dominating today. Why wouldn't PUMPTIREs really start to move up from here? So this could be another really good opportunity here. Yeah, pretty exciting about where this might go with the token there. You can check out the distribution and all the stuff. Do your due diligence as well. That's just my commentary. Obviously, we've got some of the ones like Solana. If Solana does run away, like again, then the Solana PUMPTIREs might run as well. Just all the theming, right? All the narratives around there. But you need to do a bit more due diligence. You know who's involved, what's the holding, all that sort of stuff. You need to do a bit more depth into that. Like I say, XGame, pretty bullish about that. Bitcoin, of course, also could do a runner just like the fork Bitcoin, right? The wrap Bitcoin's done very, very well recently, over $300. Well, this one here could also follow that narrative as well with the old PUMPTIREs. But once again, check out all the stats and very low volume relatively, but these things run away pretty quickly on low volume. So we shall see where that goes. You got some big communities like Doubt Token. Some of these communities are actually quite large, some of the PUMPTIRE communities. So it's definitely worth checking out which is the larger ones, because it's obviously going to have more potential investors to push the price up and sellers, no doubt. But you get the point. PDC, of course, for me is one of the better blue chips on PulseChain. This chart here on the weekly, obviously been around for a long time as well. 1 year and 6 months. This thing here looking pretty awesome. 000 2700 at the moment. And this just looks like ready to go for the gold, isn't it? And still holding that long-term uptrend there, and really starting to look like it's just getting ready for the next move. And I think we're going to get such good economic news. It's going to be pretty exciting. So that's kind of where we are at the moment on some of those tokens. What else? I think that's kind of where we're going to leave it at this stage, I think, on those. And well, let's have a quick look at the PDI one, or the PUMPTIREs die. And that's sitting at 1/10 of a penny. So looking pretty solid here at the moment as well. Bouncing off pretty much 0006. So let's see where it leads. Could go up to the moon. We shall see. That's pretty much that. Now I wanted to bring in quickly Titan X up. I thought I had it up, but apparently I didn't. And we're up to an hour and 2 minutes. So we're going to finish off with that. I think we've got about, how many people watching at the moment? We've got about 200 people watching at the moment. So big shout out. Appreciate that. And of course, don't forget to share the channel around. Share on YouTube, share on Rumble, or repost on Rumble, and repost on X. That would be really hard. And definitely smash the like button on the way in. If you love daily coverage of PulseChain, of crypto generally, and of course I cover the politics as well. Yeah, so I've given all the secret sauce on Trump's strategy. It's playing out like a charm. I had one comment saying, "Who are you to talk about all this? You don't know anything." Well, it's know everything, know it all because I study it. That's why. So it's a pretty easy calculation, and it's turning out all to be true. And it's going to be absolutely outstanding. And we are all early. We're all at the right time and right place. And really, it's going to be absolutely glorious. It doesn't mean that there's not volatile days on the way. That's markets for you. But man, the mega trend is going to be mega good for us. All right, so let's get into Titan X here. Titan X starting to show some green, and we're certainly moving off the bottom here, off the bottom of wave 2, which was way worse than people could have expected. Wave 1 was glorious. So wave 1 went from July, and it was pretty amazing. And this is US dollars, of course. We went up pretty much 8x there from the bottom inside 79 days. And then, of course, we had wave 2, and it came down way more than people thought. People thought maybe we'll get 68%, maybe we'll get 88%. But no, it came down pretty incredibly, about 93%. And that is a massive down from there. So 93% it came down, but it is starting to show the light. And of course, we've already been down here. Let's say how long we've been down. Probably, let's take that. I'm going to try and get out here. Maybe for 3 weeks we've been down in this low period, consolidating here. Sometimes this can take maybe up to 3 months or something to ride the bottom before we get that big move up. But we're already getting it early, and the timing in the market's probably appropriate as well. And so off the bottom here on US dollar prices, we are up 70% off the bottom. In other words, the chart can look red. The thing is with Titan X, the buy and burns are all turned off. It's highly collateralized, right? So in other words, it's got asset backing with Ethereum, and the buy, and it's not just a collateral backing, but it's actually a buy and burn. So it's hyper bullish there, and it's something like 95% last time I checked. So it's somewhere in that range. And it's well worth checking again. Now the price is rallied, but that's kind of where it is. The other thing, of course, is It's got omni-chain strategy, right? Jake Sharp's been developing. All the developers in the community, like Crypto in the chat there, all working on omni-chain strategies, moving to base chain, moving to Sonic chain, launching high quality DeFi and what I call GameFi, and of course ROI protocols. So that's all launching and been going very well. And of course, once the Titanx moves, they all move up at a leverage, right? So you're moving up at really large double-digit gains, and it just can run up. Once it starts running up, it really starts to run away. So getting into this zone is pretty important there. So let's put a little rectangle here, and this is my favorite new one. This one, the oval. But this is a zone, was the accumulation zone, right? So very exciting. Now you got to put the RSI in, right? So you got to have the RSI in, and you can only do it on the US dollar side. So we'll put that in quickly, and this will give you a bit of an idea if it's getting a bit overbought. But at the moment, you can see we've just started entering the overbought period on the daily. So the best we should hopefully to see here is a bit of a consolidation. The worst, of course, is going back for a retest, right? But I suggest you will probably hopefully stay relatively above it, and maybe if we get a 40% move back at most, that's a good outcome for the next time, because the next target on horizontal is moving to 2600 on the price. We're currently at 2000 right now. Probably even more important than this is the 4 hourly, how to give an idea of how we're doing there, and we can see we're kind of cooled off here. So if we could get a little consolidation, maybe come back down, drift to the 50 on the RSI, and maybe pull back a little bit here, maybe down to 1750, and then sort of slowly move off from there, let the RSI cool off a bit. That'd be kind of a cool view. Moving to the ETH price here at the moment on the daily, this is probably even more important. How's it performing against Ethereum, right? So in terms of Ethereum, it did exceptionally well, right? So way up there. I think it was like 10x, and here we are coming off the bottom. We're at 10.07,000 versus Ethereum. This is Titanx versus Ethereum, and now we're at 1083. So we're getting a nice little rise there. What's about 30%? And let's see if we can consolidate somewhere here, and hold that zero. If we can do that, that'd be even more bullish, right? So just keep a look out of it, but definitely have that on your watch list, because we're down at the bottom pretty much, right? And it's got a huge collateral, like I said, 95%. I mean, how many cryptos out there have that? I don't know if how any ecosystem has that. I don't know. And it's on Ethereum and dominating. And of course, Titanx was like ranked number 3 yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. So game on. And so that's kind of the play there. So that's another mega tip of the day I should suggest. Titanx, DragonX has already been running. I talked about this yesterday. It's already on the run, 13.45. Titanx, it came off the bottom about 5.8 or something, and it's up pretty strong today. X28 is the omni-chain version of Titanx, and the ratio is 0.73 at the moment. Shogun, of course, there is another Jake Sharp project, and that is up 5%, and the buy and burns ticking away. What else there? Hyper and Hydra, these both have buy and burns. So there's one in here, Titanx, the big one, the V1 ETH. There's the DragonX in here, right, with Titanx. And there is the Shogun and the Hyper. And of course, they got let me say that again: Hyper and Hyper and Hydra. Getting confused there with all the hypers. We got Hydra there, and that's backed on DragonX. Hyper is backed on Titanx. That's mega bush, and the buy and bids are turned off too. So you can imagine this thing's going to run away like nothing else. It's really could be pretty crazy. And when you get the buy and bids operating, I don't know how they're going to play them, because particularly the V1, that's going to be the most interesting one. But if you've got the sentiment on the market, so you got the chart going back up, you got everybody jumping on, it can run away pretty big. And so you can amplify the buy and burns by just letting the market, you're getting into an uptrend and get a sentiment turnover. But this is just such a golden coin in your hand kind of thing. This is just crazy right now, picking this up where it is at the moment. So that's going to be pretty bullish. Vault, of course, coming out from Stevie D. We're looking for a Bitcoin Genie. Helios, of course, coming from the Dude, already going omni-chain, I think, with a lot of these products down here, although I haven't really looked at these ones yet, but they think these are all omni-chain versions of Element 280 Helios, so they're already on omni-chain, I believe. So that is ticking away there. And yeah, pretty exciting stuff. The other big thing that we're seeing here from Morpheus, coming from Brandon, he's going omni-chain as well, and that is with I think Sonic and PulseChain. So that's for Morpheus with the DEX, and he's adding a lot of new features there. Tink token, of course, keep a lookout for that. 3 cents. That is a good sign. So the higher the price goes, the higher the yield. The more capital goes in there, you get it. It just spirals up, and it's a big key pump mental for the Titanx ecosystem, and that's going up and heading in the right place. And the founder for that, Super Shadowy, is a master. He really is fantastic. And so you're dealing with somebody who really knows what he's doing there. So you've got a couple of really clever leaders. Obviously, DragonX has got Eric, very well-known developer team and very smart guy. You've got Jake Sharp, of course, running. You've got some very smart developers in the ecosystem, like the dude, Mad Scientist, crazy Stevie D, and then, of course, Inferno from Crypto Utah and the gang. I mean, there's really smart guys. And of course, the burn there is very advanced, about 57% or so, and they're doing lots of cool things in the ecosystem. You got Brandon, of course, there with that one. We talked about that. Element 280, part of the dudes ecosystem. What else we got going down there? Uranus, of course, was the first protocol to launch on base chain, doing very well. And that was between the dude and James right there from, what was that, from the old meme coin. It's all the way up here somewhere. I'm going to get dizzy. Meme coin. I just can't see it. We have a Baby Dragon X. That's the one. So Nat there's probably going to do pretty well. That's built on the back of Dragon X. So if Titan X goes up, ETH goes up, Titan X goes up, ratio goes up, Dragon X ratio goes up, then Baby Dragon X goes way up. I mean, it's a leverage on leverage on leverage. It's pretty crazy, crazy gains. That's why we're going to see some pretty crazy stuff. And therefore, on Dex Screener, what could we see? We could see Titan X, because there's already 39 tokens out. We could see Titan X dominate the top 10, top 20, because none of the other ecosystems, for the most part, have any of this leverage play, and of course the big collateralized support. So you could see this very easily dominate Ethereum. Ethereum, of course, which has actually been relatively weak versus, say, Bitcoin and stuff, and Solana and things. So it could be something you're going to probably see in the future. The other thing, of course, is we've got Bitcoin GD coming. I'm pretty excited about those tokenomics. And also, we've got Taurus there coming from another influencer, Cryptographics. And, of course, that's been developed by Brandon, another influencer who's got his own development team and doing the DEXs, or swaps. And so that's pretty cool. That's all coming to the Titanx ecosystem. Market cap at the moment, 67 million. And, of course, we've gone over 20,000 Titanx users, so they've hit that mark. And let's see if it can start rallying again. It's going to attract all the attention, right? It's going to be up in the top 10, top 20, and people are going to start, flocking into that. And ETH starts returning, breaks to 2,100, starts moving up to 4,000, as Fat Sammy says. In 4 weeks' time, imagine if that happens, man. It's all game on, right? All happens very quickly, and then before you know it, you're going, "What happened? I missed the train." So there we go. That is the Titanx looking pretty good. In the next couple of weeks, definitely accumulate what you can and do your due diligence. Obviously, not financial advice. Right, so we've got Frank's in the house there. Good times are coming. I can feel it. And we've got Fast Abdul there from Ink Printer. I'm here for the Texas Fast Abdul. And of course, Fast Abdul there recently launched the fourth liquidity fork on PulseChain. And has it still got the biggest liquidity? I think it may have. We should probably check that out sometime. And that's very exciting for PulseChain. Now, as you guys know, we're going to have Coast Team. We're going to have which directly on ramps with the fiat-based stablecoin, which is CST stablecoin. We've got the 4 liquidity forks, right, from Liquid Loans, Power City, and Fast Abdul there. And then we're going to have PUSD ALGO coming from Jacob, which I'm super excited about. That, for me, is his flagship protocol. Obviously, he's just announced the on-chain bet, which looks like it's probably going to be launching in September. And if you've got Pulse Pod or BNB Pod, or you got Pulse Predict tokens, you're going to qualify for that. And you can convert the Pulse Pot and the BNB Pot for the OC token for on-chain bet, which is pretty exciting. We've got so much stuff coming, guys. Hopefully, we're going to get Tetra over the line soon. Hopefully, Stu's pretty close to that. And then we'll get Signum Oracle, and then we'll get PUSD Algo news. That's kind of the roadmap for that. Get excited, man. We've got so much stuff coming. And, hey, maybe with the next 24 hours, we will have Sun Mini Meal with the Soil token and the 5-minute on-ramping to onboard people from Europe and eventually the whole globe. They're going global with that, and that's all coming to PulseChain. It's got to be exciting, right? The more money they make is coming to PulseChain, and the more onboarding of people they will have. And so it's just going to be awesome, guys. We're just right there at the right time, right place. And we got the best possible president that we could have, leading a super talented cabinet. I mean, that cabinet is so good, and we're looking forward to it. Now, it's going to be pretty fun to see all this play out. Get ready, get your bags packed, get onto the train. It's about to leave, and it's going to be so exciting. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Now, I've got a big project coming up. We're going to be posting that video soon. That's coming up. Get ready for that. That's a mega project, and we're going to be posting that video today. Yeah, boy. So that's going to be so exciting. And we got another project as well we're queuing up there that you guys are going to hear about. So nothing's slowing down. Nothing's slowing down here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Big shout out to my team. If you want to get any promotional work done, we've sort of launched the first kind of, we call it professional promotional service. We're sort of ramping that up. And if you need any help with that, we can get you out. Now, obviously, we check to make sure your project's reasonable, because we're not going to, we want to talk about good stuff. And so hit up MVS. He's our promotional lead. Hit myself up directly on Telegram or Discord. And of course, get excited about the projects that are coming ahead. We're trying to help those small, medium project size teams to get the voice out and match them up with all the crazy, cool people out there. It's going to be a lot of fun as we get into this bull market for crypto. All right, so now in 15 minutes, that's kind of my time up. It's time to rug pull, Superman, and I'll catch you guys in the next show. Take care, everybody. Look forward to the big video coming out today. It's coming out today. Yeah, boy. All right, take care, and don't forget subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and I'll catch you in the house. We've got about 250 people watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, hit the follow button, hit the like button, and I'll catch you on tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's show, I think, is going to be a big one as well. So stay tuned for that. All right, bye for now. Cheers.